Welcome back to Rob Schmidt Tonight. I am David Harris Jr., filling in for Rob. A Wisconsin mother, Colbey Decker, is considering legal action against her local school district, alleging that the district is implementing a race-based policy that she finds deeply troubling. I do as well. The policy in question involves prioritizing extra teaching resources for minority students, which the mother claims has left her dyslexic son without adequate support. The school's website states that priority for additional assistance is given to students based on their race. Are you kidding me? Now, lawyers from the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty representing Mrs. Colbey Decker are arguing that Mrs. Decker's child, who suffers from dyslexia, has received different and less favorable services because he is white. If he was black, Hispanic, or Native American, Mrs. Decker's son would have been treated more favorably and received different services. Joining me now to discuss is Colbey Decker herself and her legal counsel from Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, Cory Brewer. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Colbey, according to the press release by the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, you stated that the school implied to me that my child would already be receiving one-on-one reading support if he were black, Hispanic, or First Nation. I was speechless. I think we need to help every student in need, and using the guise of diversity simply creates more division and hurts all students. I could not agree with you more, and as a person of color, I think it's absolutely disturbing and disgusting that they would do this to your student. Tell us, has the school made any type of motion or notion that they're going to remedy this situation for your son?
So I met with the principal after finding the policy, and prior to that, I had emailed them and said, I found this policy. Is my son treated differently because he is white? Does he receive less services, or is he less of a priority because he is white? And the principal emailed me back, and he was excited to talk to me about priority groups and all the work that the district does with priority groups. After that, he invited me to come for an in-person interview with him, and so he could go ahead and go over all the wonderful things that they do with these priority groups. So he never denied that my son doesn't receive less services, but he made it very clear that priority groups are important for the district.
Wow, it's how far have we fallen backwards, right? It used to be that we were fighting for justice regardless of skin color. Now people are being treated differently because of their skin color. It's still racism. Cory, in a letter to the school district, you made the following request. We're requesting that the district abandon its discriminatory policy and return its focus to serving all students based on need, not race. If the district declines to do so or continues to sort students based by race in order to prioritize which students receive resources, we will take appropriate legal action. Is your plan, as of right now, since it doesn't sound like they've changed anything, to take legal action?
Yes, the law demands that government entities treat individuals without regard to their race. Government entities like public schools, they should not be sorting or prioritizing resources based on the race of students. And what we would really love to see is a colorblind approach, that students who need the help receive the help. And if the district does not agree to take that type of approach, then yes, legal action is on the table, and we'll pick the appropriate strategy to ensure not only Colbey's son, but all students in the district are treated equally and fairly.
Yeah, I don't know how we've gotten to this place where now we're treating kids based on their race and not calling it racist, not calling it racism. It seems absolutely absurd, but I think that's a lot of things that are absurd have taken place these last 4 years. How is your son doing right now, Colbey? Is he does he kind of know what's happening? Is he aware of what's taking place? Dyslexia just means that he's got a hard time with pictures. And actually, a good friend of mine is a genius, and he knows how to unlock dyslexia to make it kind of a genius. But if they don't have those resources in schools, it can be really, really hard for the student. How is he doing?
So my son is struggling across all subject matters because of his dyslexia. So he goes to math class, and if he gets a story problem, he can't decode and read the words fast enough to understand it. He goes down the hall, goes to music class, and he can't read the song that he's supposed to learn to sing for the next concert. He has to memorize it. So he knows that he has dyslexia. We've normalized it within our family. It's not a big deal to him. We know that he has a long journey ahead, but we are going to have a really difficult conversation with all of our sons coming up shortly. They don't know this is happening, and my children are colorblind. They have friends, and they're just friends. And now we have a school district and an administration that's going to force me to basically shatter my child's worldview when it comes to race and being judged. Their brother isn't going to be receiving services because he is white. And it's going to be very uncomfortable and painful to have that conversation.
Yeah, we should. That's a conversation that we should not be having to have in schools today. Colby, if it's okay with you, I'll get your number from my producer. I'm telling you, my friend sold his company for $180 million. But when he was in high school, they didn't have dyslexia. It wasn't even named yet. Now he knows how to actually unlock it, and it would be a brilliant thing for your son. If you're open and interested, let my producer know, and I'll get your contact information, okay?
That's amazing.
All right. Colbey Decker and Cory Brewer, thank you both, ladies, for joining me this evening. Really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.